What's up, you guys? My name is Grace Loring Taylor, and you are listening to episode 71 of the Trauma Dump Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Here at the Trauma Dump Podcast, we seek to answer the question, what is mental health? How do I take care of my own, and how do I support others? This week, we're going to be having our Anonymous Discords Confession episode with my very special friend and friend of the show, Cat Lynn, or Claude Beauty 101. You can go follow Cat Lynn over on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Her handle is Claude_Beauty 101. That is CLAWED_BEAUTY 101. I'm actually, little known fact about me, I'm Claude Beauty's YouTube editor. So for the fans that know me of hers, we became really good friends a year ago because of this podcast. I had her as a guest on my podcast, and now we're best friends, and I edit her YouTube videos, and also she's one of my bridesmaids. So Catlin means a lot to me, and I know she means a lot to you. This episode, we're going to be talking about anonymous confessions that happen over on our Discord server. We do episodes like these every couple of months to hear from you guys, the listeners, of what you guys are going through and how we can support one another. A quick reminder and a disclaimer, I am not a licensed health professional. This podcast only seeks to create community and further understanding of these topics that are so often overlooked and extremely misunderstood. If you or a loved one are in need of medical professional help, we have so many resources in our descriptions. The topics discussed here are for a mature audience, so viewer discretion is always advised. And if you're liking what we're doing here on the Trauma Dump Podcast, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing content. We post new episodes every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you really like this podcast, please share it with your friends. That really helps the podcast grow so we can reach more people who want to be trauma informed. And if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please rate the show. That also really helps us reach more people. All right, let's get into this episode.
Hi, best friend.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm eating, sorry.
It's okay. What are you eating?
Onion rings.
Onion rings?
Mm-hmm.
I love onion rings. I love munching on onion rings. Are they Funyuns or are they like a different brand?
Oh no, they're onion rings.
Oh, they're like onion rings. Girl. When I think onion rings, my brain goes to Funyuns.
I love trap onion rings, man.
Okay, so today, by popular demand from the audience, they're like, we need Catlin back.
All right.
It's like, we need her back. We need them back. We need them to share and to give us advice. For those that are tuning in, we pre-record these episodes, but Kat and I will be watching live. This will be streaming live eventually. We pre-record so that we can keep those that wish to be anonymous. And if there's anything I need to edit out, I can take them out. But essentially, this is anonymous Discord confessions from our Discord server. So if you want to be a part of the next episode of this, we are going to do this every couple months where we talk openly about what we're going through, but in an anonymous forum. So a lot of people do things like this on Reddit. I think this is a lot more community-based because it is our community. It is the listeners that are experiencing these things. And we're not licensed health professionals, but we are people that care.
Yes.
And we will commiserate with you and give our advice. And you could take it or leave it. Because we're not licensed to give advice.
Yeah, we're not therapists or psychiatrists whatsoever, but we're here to do what we can based off of our own experiences.
Exactly. And lived experiences do still matter. So we're gonna start, I think, with confession. Um, Pretty sure it's confession 80.
All right. I'm
Let me,
scrolling down there, find
or
it.
it's 81. I'm gonna share my screen so that we can see it.
All right.
Um, and Kat, would you do the honors of reading it first?
81.
Yes.
All right. I'm the same person who wrote 62. This might be the first time someone's updated with some good news. I don't know, lol, but I'm still here, kicking and screaming through life. Also, I want to apologize. I'm dyslexic, so if I misread something, I do apologize. I've gotten I've got a goal in mind, and I started to accept that how I handle my situation is more important than whether or not I can surpass it in the immediate time. I still have bad days, but I'm still here. And that's a bigger win right now than anything else. It means I haven't given up yet. It means that some part of me sees the light at the end of the void, the end of this void. And I've chosen to listen to it. I want to live instead of looking for things to experience and live for. I've started making them. Sometimes life doesn't come to you, you go to it. I realize this is one of those times. It's not going to be easy, but then nothing in life worth doing ever is. So I hear. Grace, Johnny, thank you for addressing what I posted and giving your insights. It can't be easy addressing so many with such struggles. But once I'm better, I think I should too write through my writing. Oh yes, that's something that was mentioned, and it is very validating for me too. I am a writer, though I write sci-fi. I want to let you guys know that I'm still here. I haven't given up, and since my post, I'm starting to heal slowly from the wound that caused it all. Keep up the amazing work you do here. That's a
Oh.
positive light. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a really good one to start with. Yeah, in the previous Anonymous Confessions episode, Johnny and I read a lot of confessions, and number 62 was one that really struck with Johnny. And Johnny was like, "You should be a writer. This is awesome." And also, I really hope that this person is still here. And so I'm so glad that you're still here, and I'm so glad that things are looking up for you. And thank you so much for sharing. We're going to move
Yes, truly.
on. Anonymous Confession 82. Okay. I'm the worst. I really am. I don't feel like talking about it, but I harmed an innocent person because I'm so stupid and dumb. I'm the worst person in the world.
It just makes you human, in my opinion. Like, we all mess up and hurt people that we care about in some way, shape, or form. As long as you like take accountability for your actions, and Grace, correct me if I'm wrong, that's what matters. Take accountability and change your actions.
Yeah, I think it's all about acknowledging what you've done and apologizing will
Mm-hmm.
also really go a long way. And then doing what you can to change said behavior. And actually, I think one of the biggest things in accountability is time and consistency. If you prove over time and consistency that you have changed, a lot more people are going to trust you, and you can rebuild any connection. And I really do believe that lots of people have recovered from really horrible things and have caused such positive um, like waves in so many other people's lives. Like I instantly think of Robert Downey Jr. Like he was a drug addict, he was alcoholic, he is now known as Iron Man because he changed for the better and he became a much better person that a lot of people look up to. It just takes time.
Wow. That's really powerful. All right. Anonymous confession number 83. Warning for mention of alcohol, abuse, etc. My dad's drinking again. It's really triggering my trauma with when I saw my mom's stepdad as she abused my sister while being drunk. I know it's something out of my control, but I really can't deal with it. I'm trying to keep from shutting myself down and stuff, but nothing's working. I'm too scared of what could end up happening with this, and I don't know what to do. I've been trying grounding techniques, but they're not working, and I really don't know what to do or say, to do or anything. Oh my goodness. That
Uh,
must be a nightmare.
yeah.
Let me think
Mm.
here.
I think when it comes to, it sounds like you're a minor if you're living um in a house where you can't leave, because this is kind of what I'm getting from this. And if your grounding techniques are not working, they say that you can't heal in the place that made you sick.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe trying those same grounding techniques in a different place might be really helpful, like an actual different area, not just in the house.
And I've I've how do I say this? I've been through the abuse of an alcoholic. No, it was not my partner, and no, I will not say whom. Um, and it wasn't for very long. It was for a short time. It was like um around the holidays and stuff like that. So it wasn't consistent. Um, but I suppressed it. That's not healthy. Don't do that. So I don't really know how to how to recommend helping out with this because I suppressed my memories and I didn't deal with it healthily. But I would definitely tell someone what's going on. Get someone involved if you can, because you should not be living a life like that. I really wish I could talk to you in person. I really wish I could. Because I want to hug you. I want to hold you. I really do. Because I don't want to, I don't like hearing people go through that. It really breaks my heart. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I could take them out of that situation.
Yeah.
Um, what I would recommend is tell someone about it, get out of the house somehow, and or wait till you're old enough to move out. And I know that takes time and waiting. I don't know what your situation looks like. I don't know if you trying to get out would make it worse. So I'm just suggesting what I can. I hope that helps somehow. I wish we could do more.
Yeah. Um, if you are a child, we're gonna put some resources in the description. Um, there's also Children of Alcoholics Anonymous. It's a support group.
Oh yeah.
So I would really recommend um, the the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is 988 if you feel
Hmm.
like hurting yourself. Um, there's also Adult Children of Alcoholics and Dysfunctional Families. It was founded in 1978. I'm pretty sure that there are meetings all over the country. I would really recommend checking them out. And I will put resources in the description for you for that. But what you're experiencing is real, is traumatic, and you are not alone. There are other people that have experienced something very similar or the same thing. I agree with Kat on telling someone, if you're in school, telling a school counselor about what's going on. And if worst case scenario, you get put into foster care or something like that, your safety is paramount in these circumstances. So I really recommend telling someone as well, telling someone what you're going through. This is Anonymous Confession 84. My
Trigger
best
warning.
This is also, yes, very much a trigger warning. My best accomplishment should have been dying as soon as I was 16, but I fucking didn't. Honestly, I don't know if living is worth it. An acquaintance became incredibly popular at one of the things I spent years of my life on, and then after that, they got the accommodations I always wanted and all the YouTube video comments congratulating them on getting the resources that I can't get for figuring out their identity. I hate it. I'm so jealous. Everything I worked for was ultimately for nothing. I'm a failure to the greatest degree. Honestly, if I offed myself, at least maybe I could make it interesting, you know. Maybe then I'll be the best at something, anything. I I'm very sorry that you're experiencing this. Wanting to be recognized or acknowledged is a very human thing. Very human thing. You're not inherently wrong or bad or anything like that for seeking validation. That's honestly what we need as humans, as social creatures. We need our pain to be acknowledged, and we also need our successes to be acknowledged. And when it feels like someone is getting recognition that you feel you should deserve, of course, jealousy, envy comes up. Those are all very human emotions. What is not positive, what is not life affirming, what is not good for you is to wish death upon yourself
Right.
for not getting these things. Death
How
is just a permanent ending. It's not a solution.
it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Yeah.
And um there are some things like I wish I had, like some better health like better health and stuff like that. Because like some people don't have those problems, or some people were never abused, and I envy that. You know what I mean? And like I wish like I never went through the abuse I went through. But then again, like there, I know that my this is what I'm talking about is not so much what they're talking about. So maybe put this in a different perspective. Maybe this road wasn't meant for you. As sad as that may sound, maybe this road is directing you someplace else. And because I remember I went to school for science and English. I had a uh associate's degree in both. Um and I ended up becoming a social media person. um I was diagnosed with seizures and I couldn't drive, so I made it very limited for me going to school and to work. And it led me to do social media. And it worked out somehow for me. And maybe this is just taking you a different direction than what you're expecting it to. That's how I like to look at it. But killing yourself is not the solution for what you're looking for.
Yeah.
It's not. It would not be your greatest accomplishment. I promise you. I understand that thought process. I've been there before, but it's not the solution.
I think a really good way that 84 that you could look at this is that someone else got those accommodations, that someone else did get those resources. And once other people get those accommodations, it makes it a lot easier for even more people to get those accommodations. Speaking as someone who had to get accommodations in school, I have dyslexia like Kat, and I also have severe ADHD. And so I needed accommodations at school for extra time on all of my assignments and also extra time on my tests because I couldn't read stuff as quickly as other people. And it doesn't mean that that's like a form of cheating, which it isn't. It's just putting me at the same level as someone who isn't neurodivergent. And if you are in need of accommodations, advocating for yourself is the way to go, and seeking medical professional diagnoses so that you can get your accommodations are also the way to go. And it sounds like you've been working for those things.
Right.
And that's amazing. That's an accomplishment within itself
Mm-hmm.
that you were able to advocate for yourself. That's an accomplishment. That's huge. A lot of people don't have the courage to do so or don't even get accommodations at all. I had to fight for my accommodations in college to have my service dog in my classes with me. That was a fight, and I got that accommodation, and it saved my life.
I'm currently fighting my college for mental health stuff, so
Yeah. It's a battle worth fighting. It is worth fighting. And you have no idea how many lives you can affect for the better because of how you choose to live your life. It sounds like you're a little bit older than 16. You have so much life ahead of you. You really do. If all of our lives ended at 16, 15, 14, when we're starting to have these horrible ideations, which that's usually when most people start having these ideations. If all of our lives ended around there, there would be really nobody left on the earth.
right.
The only way out is through. And I promise you, you'll be so glad that you continue to live. You're going to find those things that make you happy to live. It just may take a while to find them. For me, when I tried to commit suicide at 15, I was very abused and I thought it wouldn't get better. And it's been almost 10 years since then. And I look back on my life, and yes, I've had way worse moments since then, but I've also had an abundance of amazing experiences since then. I started my own company. I have my fiance. I have all of my amazing friends, including Cat. I'm getting married next year. Like there are so many amazing experiences that I've gotten to have because I kept living, because I kept fighting. It's worth it. I promise you it is. Please just keep doing the next right thing and keep trying. Because your life, it means something, but you have to decide that it does.
If we continue reading, they said in anonymous confession 86. This is confession 84. I'm fine now, just went through it, but I'm better now. Just gotta remember comparing myself to others is pointless because the best me is myself. And that is
There we
true.
go. There we go. Yeah. The best you is yourself, and there will be a better you going forward. You just have to keep working on yourself.
All right. Anonymous confession 87. Trigger warning, gender and suicidal ideology. I wish I was a woman. Honestly, I don't want to transition, but if I had the choice, I would want to be a woman. I would want to be a woman. I'm sick of being associated with men. With men that do evil things. With men that keep abusing women over and over until they feel unsafe around all men. I'm tired of pretending everything's fine and like my existence doesn't make a poor woman out there feel unsafe because I'm associated with these assholes. I'm genuinely dead ass thinking about ending it all and hoping I'm reborn as a woman. I'm sick of having to pretend that everything's okay. Meanwhile, my internal world is falling apart when I see women in pain, being harmed, and suffering because of men. I'm sick of pretending that there is hope for men to change because they keep turning around and doing more dumbass stuff because of male privileges. I'm done. I'm sick of it. I'm so fucking done. My limit has been reached, and I want death to just take me away so that one less man ruining this world. I'm finished. I've reached my breaking point. I want to snap all the bones in my body and bleed to death. I want to fall off the building and watch the city lights fly by me and plummet towards the earth. I want the Grim Reaper to take me into their arms and escort me away from the shitty world I had the misfortune of being born in. I want the genders to be equal. I want all this misogyny and misandry to stop. I want everything to be peaceful. But this world is so fucked that we can't even have peace for 1 second. I'm already thinking of some poetic suicide notes and thinking of some way to end it so no one can save me if they find out. In conclusion, I'm done. I wish I was a woman instead. Wow.
Well, I first want to say that this is very poetic and
It
very,
is
like,
very poetic.
very honestly beautiful. And I mean that in a very, like, it's very dark. It's very, it is very beautiful. You wrote it very, like, I can see the lights. Like, I am a very visual person and I can see everything that you wrote. I understand the gender dysphoria of it all, and I understand the desperation of wanting something to be different so badly that you think that death is the only way. And I do think you are transgender, because if you're wanting to be reborn as a woman, and you wish you were a woman, you might be transgender or you might be
Just
gender non-conforming or
they could just not want to be a man because of all the crap that they represent.
Mhm.
Maybe they're transgender, maybe they're not. Um, but I do want to say you can be that person that's actually bringing good into this world. You can be that person that is a light to women. Like, how do I explain? Sorry, I am getting emotional over these messages. I'm sorry, I keep crying. Um,
Okay.
so you see me wiping my, I'm sorry, I was just getting emotional over here. Um, how do I say this? It's not every guy. It's most of them. And it's scary. Men are scary. Like I understand that. I understand that fear. Like I literally can't go in Uber without a friend being with me. Um, but I had to come to realize that it's not all of them, but it's a big boatload of them. But you can be that small little light that shows women like be the example that younger generation need. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Be the example that the younger generation can look up to because we need some good examples. And let's be honest, we really don't have many to look up to nowadays. And maybe you can be that person because it sure sounds like you want to be that person. You sound like you're sick of it, and I understand. Like when I was a Christian, I wanted to be the Christian that that broke the stereotype and try to um show that not all Christians are the same. I'm not a Christian anymore, but I wanted to set the example that not all Christians are the same. And maybe you can do that for this generation. I hope that helps.
It helps loads. I'm sure it will. Um, I will also affirm how this person feels. And there are men out there, I know them, that are trying to be better for women and for other men. Um, I know my fiance Joey is. He's doing men's work and he's trying very, very hard to be a a leader and learn and grow. Um, Hey Brother Co. is a men's work association. It's a company that's operated by one of my dearest friends, Johnny Cole. I would really strongly recommend 87 checking them out and seeing the work that they're doing in their community. They're in Ohio, in Elyria. And Johnny goes to high schools and he talks to young men about what it is to be a man. And he
Mm-hmm.
talks about rape culture and he talks about healthy masculinity and
Mm-hmm.
boundaries and respecting women and also respecting yourself as a man and like breaking down the patriarchy because the patriarchy not only hurts women, but it also really desperately hurts men. It pits men
Yes.
against men. It's a pyramid scheme within itself.
Yes. Yes.
And I would really strongly recommend checking out Hey Brother Co. And I will also be putting some resources. Um, an episode that's coming up is episode 73, where I talk to a man named Ron about how to become a better man and the steps that he took once he recognized how horrible he was as a man and all the ways that he's like honestly broken apart what it is to be a man and the steps that he took to become a better person and help other men. It's really inspiring. It'll come out in 2 weeks after this episode. I really strongly recommend you checking that out. There's going to also be a lot of resources in that episode, but how you're feeling is valid. Whether or not you're transgender, it's not up to me to decide. It's up to you to decide. That if you desire to heal as a man, there are avenues that you can go down.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is Anonymous Confession 88. I didn't choose to have a fucking heart condition that makes me have less of a heart than my dad and my siblings. I didn't choose to be born. I didn't choose this fucking family. I didn't choose to be at rehearsal right after school most days. I didn't choose to have a shit family. I've only chosen to not end it all. I feel like no matter what I do, it'll never be enough for my dad ever. I just want to be the daughter that he wants me to be, but I can't. I've been trying my best, but it's never good enough for him. I'm just fed up with my dad's shit, but these past few weeks have been nothing but thoughts of ending it all, what people would think of me, etc. I just want this pain to be over and gone, but I'm too scared to do anything about it.
I want to say I felt this one with my dad. I'm not going to go too much detail, and my dad has definitely gotten a lot better as a person, and our relationship has recovered. Like, not to the full extent, but it's getting there. Not all relationships are like that, but I will say the statement you said that they will never be enough for him. No, especially to a narcissist. You'll never be enough. And Grace can agree with this. Like, it'll never be enough for them because what you're trying to give, what's the ideal thing that they're looking for, doesn't exist. And the biggest thing you need to look for is if you're being enough for yourself.
Yeah, for real. Instead of continually trying to please them, which is never going to happen because the version of you that they want doesn't exist and it never will exist because they'll constantly change that version because, again, it won't be enough. How you're feeling is correct. It will not be enough. They're going to try and point out every little thing that they perceive as wrong, which isn't wrong. What you have to decide and what the right thing to do is to be you, to find out who you are, to do the things that bring you joy, that speak life into your life. Like for me, it was dyeing my hair pink. and continually dyeing my hair pink because that's what I wanted, and getting tattoos and starting a podcast and making jewelry and dyeing my service dog's tail pink. Like, forget what the world thinks, forget what your parent thinks. You now get to choose your life, how you wish to live it going forward. And whether or
Mm-hmm.
not you allow your dad or your siblings into your life once you become an adult, because you don't have to. You get to make new friends, have new experiences, and find your own family. Found family will help. And it takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort, but it is the right thing to do. I'm proud of you for choosing not to end it. That is a
Amen to that
brilliant
one.
choice.
Yes. Yes.
I am so proud of you. Please keep shining. We need your light. We really do.
You are enough.
You
Trust
are.
us when we say you are enough. Like, you may not feel, don't look at other people to satisfy that empty feeling of being enough. You're not going to get it from them. You can only get it from yourself.
I'm
But
very proud of you.
yeah, we're very proud of you. And thank you for being honest with us about how you're feeling and stuff. But you're completely valid. We understand what you're going through.
Mhm.
All right, next one. I hate Republicans. How can they be so cruel, so stupid, so selfish, so horrifically evil? I don't even live in America, but I'm starting to worry if this trend of country, making X country great again is going to pass into other countries. I live in the UK and our rights are not at risk, but here are not at risk here, but I'm worrying if it will pass on to here. I also feel bad for the people living in America that have to suffer the consequences of something they never did. I'm never going to America because of this. If over 50% of the population is stupid slash evil going enough to vote for Trump, I can't even see a reason why I'd enjoy my time in that country. I hope the best for all the good Americans in the country. And please stay safe.
We're not gonna
That's a
delve
heavy
too much into
one.
podcasts, like on this podcast about what's it called? Politics. Because there's gonna be people that believe different things, just like we're not gonna delve too much into religions or anything like that. But when it comes to hatred for um a group of people that identify with certain policies, I don't agree with that. You can hate the policies, but please don't direct your hate towards people. Um, I understand how you feel about it. Really, I do. As a person with a uterus that lives in Texas, really sucks to have my rights taken away. Truly, it does. Truly, it does. For real. I'm not going to be safe to give birth in this country because I'm at risk for ectopic pregnancies and um, all of that good stuff. So I will actually be having my children in Scotland, which my fiance and I have already talked at length about, but we're going to continue to live here because this is our home. I'm surrounded by Republicans everywhere I go. And it isn't just a matter of party loyalty. There are some good policies that help us, and there are a lot of really bad policies that hurt us. Uh, but it isn't black and white. And when we start thinking about these things as black and white, as good or bad, you're not going to be able to fix any of the problems. I know a lot of Republicans that are working from the inside to try and fix certain things. I also know a lot of Democrats that are trying to work from the inside to fix certain things. Unfortunately, we have a two-party system. This is not what our founders intended, but it's what we got. And so we do have to do the best with what we have in this system. It's not great, but there are people that are trying to make a difference and make the world better. But I don't agree um, with saying that they're evil because they're not. But I do understand that fear of this being passed on to other countries. I do understand that because that is real. That's very real. Um, Kat, do you know about the 4B movement?
No, I do not.
It's where people in mostly Asian countries are refusing to have babies, like the women.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're refusing to have babies until certain policies are changed.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
I do think if something like that happened here, that would be great, but it probably won't. It probably won't. Um, we as a people need to be the ones making the change. We can't just leave it up to the lobbyists and the parties because they can be bought because we live in a capitalist society. They can be bought. It's very frustrating. And I mean that on both sides, Democrat, liberal.
We're not gonna solve anything by attacking each other.
No, we're not. The only way to solve things is to come together and approach things with kindness, empathy, and a willingness to understand why certain people think the way that they do. And then once you hear them out, talk about why you think the way you do. But yeah, thank you for sharing.
Yes, thank you for sharing. This is gonna be a long one.
Oh my goodness. The total opposite. Ah, that's correct.
Okay.
Okay. I hate Democrats. The far left media has forced an agenda to fuel the fire on fear mongering of the people. Oh my God. Some people forget that Trump was the first president to decriminalize homosexuality, the first to have a gay person in their cabinet, and the first to openly support the LGBTQ community. That's not true. That's not true. That is not true. And I'm just gonna leave that at that. That's not the truth. Heck, he even had gay marriage at his house. Cool, good for him. The radical left media and people on social media heavily push that he's a horrible person without first really checking the facts and not taking a keyboard warrior word as fact. I'm never gonna say that anyone is a horrible person. That's not the way the world works. There's going to be people that do horrible things and are nice people. Like for me, for instance, I've done horrible things in my life. Would you consider me evil? I hope not. I hope not. Democrats not only want to erase history, but not give rights to the people and want to run a socialist fascist party. Even their current Secretary of State wants to spend every tax dollar they can to give it all to Ukraine for a war Putin himself wants out of. How petty can the Democratic Party be? I've learned to look past fear mongering, radicalization from the media, and study deep facts that are public knowledge. The other thing is the main agenda for them is to truly divide the people and then control them for people to have fear. When the people truly become oppressed, they do many things like try to save their people from the darkness of that machine. Look at Guy Fawkes, for example, with his last election. People truly spoke. They know he will actually be better for the people, including for women's rights. If you actually read, I never plan on traveling to the UK either. Oh my gosh, so this is like provocation.
Got it.
Oh, considering how oppressed your people are to riot against the fact that Politicians over there have become very fascist. Look at Article 13, for example, which would ban memes that impede on our American free speech. There are reasons America's beginning was started by the anti. This is crazy. And our forefathers who rebelled against the UK because of your taxes, laws, and ways of life that truly oppress the people. Somehow history always finds a way to repeat itself. Truly, when it all boils down, my views considered anar anarchist rebel from the government. Unfortunately, though, the government always pits us between lesser of two evils known as Republican or Democrat, and America spoke for many reasons, and another of it has to do with Democrats oppressing the people and people getting tired of the lies, hurt, and evil agenda that they're pushing. There's a reason they lost by a landslide, and it shows. Okay, again, we're not getting into politics. You are
I don't like
allowed,
the
everybody
fighting.
here, we're allowed to have our opinions. We're allowed to feel how we're gonna feel. Okay? This was a lot to read, so there's no way that I can dissect everything. What I will say is that everybody has a different view on politics. Everybody has a different view on what is a right, on what is a freedom, and what is something that you have to earn. And in my like humble opinion, it is not anyone's right to call another person evil. And it is not anyone's right to say that, oh, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Let's not do that here. I
Mm-mm.
know everybody has been going through it because of this election. I know that trans people, especially, are very afraid, and they have every right to be because of what is
Mm-hmm.
going on, because of the laws that are being passed
Yes.
against trans people. And I think that is wrong.
Yes.
You got anything to add, Kat?
I just don't think the bickering back and forth is not solving anything.
Yeah, it isn't. But I appreciate both of you sharing your opinions, and I love you. I love you so much. I sorry that I laugh when I'm uncomfortable, but that is my coping mechanism.
You laugh when you get scared. I understand.
Yes. All
All
right.
right. This is another one. All right. I'm gonna read this one. Well then, I guess I don't have a safe space anymore without someone creeping up behind me and stabbing my back multiple times. I only have so much blood before I bleed out. You can believe what you want, but doesn't excuse all the amount of times. Oh God, okay, so it's going back and forth. Trump has openly admitted to disliking gay marriage. He is planning to indoctrinate people to only believe Christianity and no other religion. He held a pride flag upside down in disrespect of the LGBTQ community. He has opened hatred towards Mexicans. He's erasing abortion and trans health care. He believes gay people are pedos and have no right to have a child. He wants to build more nuclear weapons. Tarfing TARFs are rising. LGBTQ sex ed is not going to be taught. He said weird things about his daughter. Yes, he did accept gay people into Trump's towers, but only to make a profit off of them. I wouldn't even call myself a Democrat, but I can't even agree in any way with Trump's vision. It was just for America. I disliked his mobs as well because they're so hateful and mean to the minorities. Has the person above been on the internet with Republicans? Have you seen the your body, my choice? Have you seen how they actively ignore the pronouns of many genderqueer individuals? Maybe I care too much about America anyway. Anyway, I think I'll be leaving the server because I cannot be in the same place as the Trump supporter. There is no mutual liking or any relationships between me and them. We cannot be friends. We cannot be in the same room, so I'll leave. People will find out who led because my icon will disappear or whatever, but I don't care. I'll stand by the fact that I disagree with Trump and I don't want him in control. I'll continue listening to the podcast as helpful as it's been to me, but I'm not staying here anymore. I've been attacked everywhere for disliking Trump, and I thought get some support, but I guess not. My heart is broken from all this. I hate everyone, everything.
I'm sorry that you feel that way. I really am. Um, and if you're listening, I'm really sorry that you felt like you had to leave the server because of this. Um, that's very sad. Trying to think of how I can say this in the most gentle way possible. To exist in a space with people who do not have the same values as you is maturity. You are not going to agree with everyone on everything, and they're not going to agree with you. That's just how it's going to be. I understand needing safe places. I understand needing to feel reassured that you're not going to be attacked on your values and what's going on in your life. And that's why with the podcast, we try really not to discuss politics, but with these anonymous confessions, I think it's necessary to read these because it's important that we know that everybody goes through mental health issues, no matter if you support one politician or another. I'm very sorry that you feel like you have to leave. Um, and I really do wish you the best, and I hope you can find a space where you can get the support that you do deserve and that you feel safe in getting.
I understand their frustration, especially because my heart goes to the LGBTQIA and I worry about them because I'm a part of it. I'm gender fluid and bisexual. And so I'm underneath the trans umbrella. And I understand where they're coming from and their fears.
You are very loved. You are very loved no matter whether you decide to stay on this Discord or not. And I mean that to everyone, no matter what belief system that they hold. Um, I my heart is capable of holding space and love for everyone. And some people that may be triggering to them, but that's my truth is I don't have to agree with people to love them. And my family members do like Trump, and I still love them. I don't agree with them, and I'll tell them I don't agree, and I'll have discourse with them, but I'm never going to attack them. And I think that's what we should approach all of these discussions with is you're allowed to hold your own, and if you don't feel safe, you are allowed to leave. We're
Mhm.
never going to force you to stay in this Discord. Okay? This Discord is what you guys make of it. This is Anonymous Confession 92. Trigger warning for narcissistic abuse. I wanted to clarify something I've written about before. First, I'm a trans guy. There's been some confusion that I was a trans woman. Okay, there's that person before.
Yeah,
Really?
okay.
Okay, okay, very cool. And I can see how that happened, but I wanted to clear it up. Unfortunately, this person is continuing a smear campaign against me. I've lost several mutual friends because of it, which hurts. I thought things were fine with those friends, but now she's telling people that she filed a restraining order against me, even though that's not true. I was the one that filed it against her. Oh my goodness.
Oh my.
She's lying to people, calling me an abuser, a groomer, and claiming that I'm a narcissist. It's frustrating because we only knew each other for 8 days, yet she's spreading all this false information about me. I've been to therapy several times, and my therapist has assured me that I'm not a narcissist. Still, hearing it so often makes me question myself, but deep down, I know I'm not. I care too much about people and their emotions to the point where it overwhelms me. As an autistic person, I often feel things deeply and struggle to process emotions, but that's not the same thing as being narcissistic. Autism and narcissism are two very different things. It
Mhm.
hurts that someone can be so cruel, lying about who I am without giving others a chance to hear my side. What's worse is that people believe her and block me without ever reaching out to ask for the truth. If they did, I would gladly show them evidence I have on my phone. I have nothing to hide, and I wish people would give me the chance to explain. Right now, I feel really lost. I don't even know what to do anymore. The weight of it all is becoming too much, and it's hard to keep going when it feels like no one cares to hear the truth.
There's a saying I've heard before, and it goes, there are three sides of every story. There's the two sides and the truth. And it's the people's fault that they don't want to hear it.
I experienced something recently, which Kat knows all about, where
Hmm.
people that I thought were my friends, which who were not my friends, let's just be like for real, be so for real. They were not my friends. They did not have my best interest. Um, Tried to call me a narcissist as well, and tried to say that I was a evil person, that I was a manipulator, all this stuff because of a huge misunderstanding, and they didn't want to hear my side either. And I cried to Kat on the phone about it. I was so distressed. And after some consoling, Kat going like, there, it's okay, Gracie. You're not a bad person, not a bad person. It's okay.
No.
Um, she made a really good point, which I'm gonna bring up, of because they don't want to hear your side means that they have already made their decision. And even if their decision is wrong, that doesn't change your value or who you are. And you do not need those people in the first place because they were never your friends to begin with. And a really good thing that has helped me get through it is you don't want people like that in your life. You don't want those people in your life. And those people making that exit, making that snap decision could be the best thing for you. It really could be. I know that's really hard to hear because I had to hear it too. Once I was ready to hear it from Kat, being like, hey, I'm not going any fucking where. I'm right here. I know you. I'm not leaving. Those people clearly did not know you and didn't want to know you. They
Yeah.
came up with an idea of you, and instead of hearing your side, they just rolled with their idea and wrote you off, which is easy for certain people. When it
Yep.
comes to narcissism, which I have been called a narcissist and I was raised by a narcissist, a diagnosed narcissist,
Hmm.
being called a narcissist as an empathetic person, a conscientious person, is one of the worst things that you can be called because it's a lie. It's a lie. And also, narcissism is a diagnosis, narcissistic personality disorder. So it's like they're diagnosing you from afar, and they're not licensed health professionals. Let's just be real. Um, I'm really sorry that you endured all of this. It sucks to be blocked without being able to defend yourself or um, share what's going on. Happened to me too, very
I
recently.
haven't had that happen to me. I've done it to people where like I have blocked them, and
Hmm.
this actually kind of gives me like like an idea of like how to handle it in the future. Like give them a chance. Like maybe like ask them, hey, what's your side of the story? I normally try to do that anyway, but like I get scared. I don't want to get wrapped up in drama and stuff.
Mhm.
But I have never had this happen to me where I randomly had a bunch of people randomly block me. I've never had that happen to me. So I unfortunately don't know what that's like. Um, but I've been there for grace when it happened. And I can tell you, as someone who's also autistic, like I understand um the processing emotions is very difficult. But that's not the same as being narcissistic, like you said. It's not the same. And I'm glad you realized that.
You got this, baby. You
Yeah,
gotta
but
get
don't
through.
and don't let them bring you down. Like don't let them win you over because you have the evidence. Like as for me, like I have evidence of like everything.
Hmm.
And in case anyone tries to come after me with anything, I have the evidence right like the back of my head. I have it ready in a file somewhere.
Hmm. And having that evidence is also proof that you were constantly pigeonholed into something that wasn't you. Um, People that compile evidence on stuff like that are more often people that have been abused and been unable to defend themselves. And so having that evidence is a coping mechanism and it will serve you. It's a good one to have. Um, if you ever have to do a lawsuit about defamation of character, having that evidence is really beneficial. Now that's like the end of this spectrum extreme, but if you have to, I would file a lawsuit if this gets to something that we really hope it won't. But if it does, you can defend yourself. And we're very grateful that you expanded upon what you're going through and told us these things. I appreciate it. Okay, so we gotta scroll past this. Okay.
I'm tired of being apathetic to everything around me. I've been that way my whole life, and people keep telling me to be that way. My therapist really pissed me off when she told me to be apathetic to other situations around me because I should be focused on myself. Focus on myself right now and not the issue that don't affect me personally. But in general, I feel I've become emotionally numb all because of the apathy I've been taught to feel towards things that are not related to me. It really pisses me off that people are taught to feel towards things that are, oh, sorry. It pisses me off that people are being told to be apathetic, especially during a time like this when a war and a new presidency, which will harm everyone in some way. I have family that are foreign, and my therapist, before knowing, told me just to be apathetic about the deportation stuff because it doesn't affect me. It made me want to throw my phone and scream. I'm tired of all that taught apathy, just that's just expected from us. So,
Hmm.
what's apathy? Explain what apathy is, because I'm not sure I know
So
what that is.
being apathetic to something is
The opposite, empathetic.
it's trying to it's like stoicism. So um I'm trying to think of a way. It's like a state of indifference or lack of interest, emotion, concern about something. It's like lack of motivation or goal-oriented behavior. It's people who have been diagnosed with apathy have severe depression, schizophrenia. So I I'm struggling to comprehend why a therapist would tell you to be apathetic.
I agree.
And I think you should get a new therapist because that doesn't sound correct. Um, Now, when it comes to situations that don't affect you personally and you having big feelings, that's a gift. That's called empathy. And apathy is kind of the opposite of empathy.
Okay.
Apathy is the lack of feeling. Empathy is the big feelings. Um, I think that your empathy is a gift. It really is. And there's, in a lot of cultures, they're like, well, if it doesn't affect you directly, then why do you care? Well, the people that care are the ones that make all the difference in history. They are. The people that care are the ones that change the laws, that move the policies forward in favor of the people. Like the LGBTQIA is a minority, but once we started advocating for ourselves, more and more people recognize that, oh my goodness, it's just let these people fucking live, let them be themselves. And laws got put in place to protect them. Now, some of those laws are getting repealed. But if we were all apathetic, like I'm not a trans person, if I was just apathetic to trans people and I didn't care, even though I'm not trans, if I just didn't care, then that would mean that whatever happens to them, I'm not going to care. It's not going to directly affect me. So why should I care? That's not good. It's not good for any society to be apathetic. And once we do start being apathetic about how other people are living or their situations, that's when the world is going to go downhill really fast because the people that do want to put down others are going to be able to. So I'm very grateful that you don't want to be apathetic. I would recommend getting a different therapist.
Yes. Sorry, I would put in my input. I don't understand the situation very well.
Hmm. That's okay. I think we skipped one, which is Anonymous Confession 93. I don't know how to make a move with my boyfriend and I'm panicking about it. Are you talking about are you talking about
Oh,
like kissing?
or something more sexual.
Are we talking about like doing the dirty?
The
Um,
dirty?
if
Let's
you're
go with both just in case.
Yeah, we'll do both. You do kissing. I'll do the other part.
Okay. Okay. Um, talk to them about it. Ask them. Ask for the consent first. That's what I highly recommend. And even tell them like you're nervous. Communicate how you're feeling about it. That's gonna be your best bet. Communication and being honest and ask for consent. Just like, may I kiss you? And or hey, I would like to do this more often. I would like to do more of that more often to show how I physically romantically love you. So that's what I recommend with that
Yes.
one.
And also that for sexual things, but also if you're feeling nervous about certain things, it could also be that you're not ready.
Yes.
If you're feeling panic or anxiety around those things, it could be that you're not ready and you maybe need to have like a conversation about it before doing anything. So I would not recommend just like stripping down to nothing and just like humping them. Don't do that. Um,
No, like take your time, start
take
off
your time.
slow,
Hmm.
and do like one thing, like aim for one goal per session. Like maybe start with the chest area first, and then that like maybe the next session down there, and then maybe next
Yeah.
session try different positions. And get like maybe next time try toys. Like it's different for everybody, but take your time, don't rush it. Everyone's different, and
Hmm.
everyone's bodies react differently. So like don't feel ashamed if you don't, finish or anything like on the first go. Like everyone's different.
Hmm.
So just take it slow and be gentle to yourself. Be good to yourself.
Yes. And in the absence of a yes, that is a no. Um, if it's not an emphatic yes or I like this, you should kind of take it as a no, especially when you're first
Yes.
trying new things, because you or the other person can feel unsure. So please be very careful. Please be safe. Also, condoms.
Yes.
Condoms. You could get free ones at your local high school. I'm pretty sure all high schools are gonna have. You just gotta go to the guidance counselor and be like, condom, and
Yep.
they will give you one. Um, yeah, please be safe. And making a move on your boyfriend, Maybe ask them their love languages.
Yep.
How do they like to receive affection and how do they like to give affection? Be open and honest. Communication makes all the world difference.
It sure does.
Thank you for asking. I'm so glad that we got to help.
I can do one more, then I'm gonna have to get going. I'm sorry.
It's okay, babe. No worries.
All right. I want to make friends, but I'm not sure how. For context, I'm homeschooled. Oh, I relate that one. And neurodivergent. Same. I chose to be homeschooled because even during the time I was schooled, I struggled with my education making friends. Same. I don't have any inside, I don't have any outside the home hobbies due to one, have a depression and dependence on my mom to take me to places. I feel that one. I don't have any other guardian in my life other than her. I'm extremely afraid to ride buses, especially alone, however. If needed, I can force myself to. I don't have a bike or a car to ride. I also can't walk long distances due to issues with my back, and long distance walks cause me pain. Two, there's not a lot of activities I enjoy that require me to be around people. Like they're usually hobbies you do alone. Three, I'm extremely afraid of adults. Like as an adult around me. I'm fine with them online or far away from me, but I get nervous any around anyone older than me than older than 18 to 25, depends on the day and how I'm feeling. I want to make friends so badly, and I do try, but the most I get with people are acquaintances. I dress alternatively, very cutesy, like Lolita, kawaii type, and I struggle speaking to new people. But again, I do force myself to, even when I stutter. I've hung out with groups like the LGBTQ groups, but they are all older than me, and I don't like and don't talk to me even when I try to talk to them. I'm not sure what to do. I'm willing to do anything just to have actual friends who don't live miles and miles away from me. I'd say I'm desperate is an understatement at this point. I know it sounds dramatic, but I genuinely never had a real life friend, and that lasted longer than a year, maybe 7 months max, because time that's how long last time I was in school. I'm generally willing to do anything. Do I find a group to join? Do I get a new hobby? Should I hang out at like malls or something? Malls are a good one. Should I just change my style or something? Don't change your style. Change my appearance or personality, or am I just unlikable by nature? Okay, there's 16 going to 17, just for context. I going to malls is a big one, but I can relate to this video heavily because I'm neurodivergent and was homeschooled to a point. I was public homeschooled up until seventh grade, and then I was online homeschooled. And I struggle with making friends. Even now, right now, I feel the exact same way you feel right now. Because a lot of hobbies I have, I just do alone at home. But I don't have a lot of in-person friends because of my physical disabilities and my mental health problems. I can't drive due to seizures and other health problems. Um, but it makes me feel incredibly lonely and it stresses me out really, really badly. To the point where I feel like I'm going crazy and depression kicks in. Don't get mind me, I'm getting water. Um, but going to malls is very helpful. Um, Getting someone to Uber with you is very helpful. Don't Uber by yourself, Uber with someone there, someone with you. Let me think here. What did I do? I got involved in the church. That helped me. Make sure you find like a good church is good for you. LGBTQIA groups are great. Usually you can find them at colleges and stuff. Um,
I mean, you're 16 going on 17, so it sounds like you're about to hit that age where you go to college. College is where I made the most friends because I was able to be around more and more people. Um, when you say that you're desperate, that genuinely will change your energy. And a lot of people don't want to be around desperation. And it's not anything to do with you or anything wrong about you. But you once you become secure in yourself, you will attract other secure people. And that's what we want to attract is other secure people. So developing yourself is really going to help you find more friends. You do not need to change your appearance or your personality. You do not need to change your style. You are likable. You are likable. You just haven't found the people that like you yet. And that's hard.
Yes.
It's hard to do. Um,
It's hard to make friends. Like it's scary to make friends, especially when you're just 16 and you're trying to be careful from creeps and stuff like that. If you're single and 16, that could be really, really scary for you. Um, so be careful out there.
yes, be careful. What I have done, and this has worked for me, I'm an extrovert, so this is kind of easy for me. I'm sorry for the introverted people if this is hard for you. But I just go up to random strangers at Hobby Lobby and Joann's and Michael's, especially the people that work there, and I try to become their friends, and I have been successful. I
I
have
go to
been,
Hot Topics. That's what I
yes,
do. Go to Hot
girl.
Topics. I go to Spencer's, and I'm
Mm,
like, hey. And I've not been successful with this because I'm scared to ask for numbers, especially when they know who I am.
yeah.
I'm less apt to give them my number because I don't want people being like, "Oh, look, it's a famous person. I want to be their friend." I'm like, no, I'm scared that happening. So I should do that though. Find some people who are alternative, just like me. Be like, hey, do you want to hang out sometime? That'd be cool. I wonder how that would go.
I think it would go well. I mean, yes, you are a person of renown, but I think it would be very flattering for the other person first and foremost. And also, I think it would go well. Um, Also, meet with people in public places. Okay.
Yes,
Don't just
coffee
invite a random
shops.
person over to your house.
Yeah, don't do that. Please be careful and safe with it.
Yeah. Be safe. Have have friendship dates. Those are great. And take your time with it. Don't rush into any relationship, whether it be romantic or friendship wise. Take your time. Kat and I have been friends for over a year now. We have taken our time. Like,
Yes, we have.
and I trust her all the more for it. Relationships develop best with time, effort, and consistency. You cannot have so much closeness all at once, and closeness is earned. Okay. If you think about yourself as a precious stone, you wouldn't just give that precious stone away to someone that you have just met. You want to take your time letting them look at the precious stone, and then maybe they can hold the precious stone. Oh my gosh. And then maybe they can trade the precious stone with you and be like, oh, I hold it, you hold it, I hold it, you hold it. You think about your inner being, your beautiful self as something precious. It will also help you out a lot more because once you start to see yourself that way, again, other people will see you that way. And I know someone gave some comments, and we only have two more. Are you
We can
able
do
to do
that.
these
Yeah, oh
last
yeah, I
two?
can do it. Yeah, I can do it.
Okay. This is Anonymous Confession 96. I just did my biology final and I failed it. I got a 14 out of
Um,
40, but my teacher said that she's not going to let me fail her class because she grades from a holistic view. That's a great teacher. I'm still very anxious about what my dad's going to say because he's expecting me to get straight A's, and I'm currently failing three classes. I'm crying in the bathroom over my scoring on my final, and I'm hoping that some way I can get at least a D in this class because I don't want to fail it. I'm so sorry, sweetheart.
School can be rough, and you just gotta do your best, and that's all you can really do.
Yeah, it
Like,
does. Ugh.
it can be really hard. Like, you shouldn't be expected to get straight A's all the time. Like, I don't think that's reasonable.
No. And it's also not reasonable because we can't be good at everything. We're not robots. You can't be good
No.
at everything. And for me, that was really hard for me to comprehend when I was in school because I was a 4.0 GPA student for everything. And I really struggle with math. The math sucks. Hate math. Hate everything about math. Hate it. Um, but that doesn't make me any less brilliant. That doesn't make me any less talented. It's just my
Mm-hmm.
talents are in different things. And I'm very sorry that you feel that pressure from your father. But it sounds like you have an amazing teacher. It really does. If you talk to your teachers about your grades and you open up with them about how you're feeling, I'm sure they can work with you on a plan so that you do not fail your classes. They will see that as you being proactive and they will appreciate that. And I mean that as a
Yes.
teacher, as someone who teaches, they will appreciate that. Okay. Last one, Kat.
All right. I wish people understood that I'm not trying to be rude. I just don't want to touch them when we meet for the first time. I don't want to get overwhelmed. Fair. That's a boundary. That's fair.
Yeah.
You don't want to be, that's completely fine. Like, you're not in the mood, you're not into that right now. That's a boundary, the firm sexual boundary. You
Yeah.
don't have to do that, and don't let anyone pressure you into doing that.
Yeah. And I think it can go in like the context of like shaking hands, giving people a hug.
Oh, I went down the other road, but it works too for that.
I mean, we don't know. It could have gone either way. They
Yeah,
could
either
mean
way,
like,
though, like, it's a boundary you want to push for yourself, and that's okay. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
yeah. I met a girl recently for the first time and I'm used to shaking hands and she was like, "Oh, I don't shake people's hands the first time I meet. I don't like being touched." And I was like, "Okay, fair." And I just segued into the next thing. Like, you don't we don't need to make a big deal out of it. If people don't want to be touched, they don't want to be touched. Okay? That's a boundary and I'm proud of you. Just set that boundary and don't make it a big deal. Just be like, "Oh, no, thank you. I don't want to be touched." If they try to push that boundary, that's not someone you need to know. Don't be involved with them. Just goodbye, especially if it's for the first time. That's just someone that you don't need to know if they're not
Right.
respecting your boundaries. All
Yeah.
right. Let's stop sharing. Final thoughts, Kat. Final thoughts?
My final thought would have to be kind to each other. Please. We already live in a chaotic world, and we don't know what other people are going through or what their background looks like. And it could explain they are who they are today. But hate isn't going to get us anywhere. And be kinder to yourself. Just be kinder to yourself, please.
Yeah.
And this was a very interesting one. I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah.
But death is not the solution. It's not. There's so much more to you.
Mhm.
And I just want you guys to remember that.
Yeah, there's never going to be another you in the world. The fact that you exist is an amazing thing. The odds of you existing is crazy. Um, and we're glad that you're here. We're glad that you're listening to
Mm-hmm.
this podcast. The odds of you listening to this podcast is crazy as well, because this is a very small podcast. So, oh my God, if you stuck around this long, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Um, my final thought would be treat yourself with respect because you deserve it. And understand that not everybody is going to like you, but the people that do like you and the people that do love you are worth finding and are worth sticking around for. And getting yourself the help that you deserve is the best act of self-care. If you need to be hospitalized, if you need to take a break from social media, if you need to take a break from work, your life is worth living and your health matters. Um, I would strongly recommend checking out the resources that we have in our description. And if you guys listening are not on the Discord server and you feel compelled to join, please do. Again, to that person that left who no longer felt safe, I'm very sorry. If you guys can comment down below your thoughts and opinions, that would really help. And
Yes.
we really appreciate you. Go follow Kat on all forms of social media. It's Claude Beauty 101. And I'm also her editor on YouTube, so you should check us out on
She
YouTube.
is.
You should check us
Very
out.
happily.
All right. We love you.
Thank you guys. We love you guys. Bye.
At the end of every episode, we spin our wheel of emotions to learn a new feeling and how it correlates to trauma. This is my little cat, Loki. He's my little demon baby. Loki, say hi. He says hi. I'm going to put him right here on the chair. And let's spin this wheel, shall we? All right. Ooh. It landed on excited, energetic, and eager. I think when we finally have others that we can share with mutually, like it isn't just trauma dumping on them, like we can actually bounce off of one another and build a friendship. I I get really excited. I get really excited the more and more people that I meet that are actively trauma informed and are actively trying to recover and heal their trauma and learn and grow. I love to grow alongside other people. It's really healing for me. I think community is what makes all the difference. When we're going through traumatic experiences, we need others to witness our pain and to be there for us, to support us in whatever way. And support looks different for each person and each circumstance. Support could just be someone hearing what you're going through and just sitting with that with you. Support could be giving solutions to a problem, or support could be commiserating, agreeing that whatever you're going through sucks. Or support could be, hey, let's look on the bright side. Or support could be, I'm really sorry you're going through that. Can I give you a hug? There's so many different ways that we can support each other. And the more that we learn about ourselves, the better equipped we are to learn about others, and the more eager we are to trust each other, which trust, I think, is the greatest healer of any type of trauma. If you like this podcast, please hit that like button and subscribe so that we can reach you for more amazing episodes. And if you like this podcast so much, please share it with your friends. That really, really helps us out a lot. If you want to support the podcast in a different way, we have a Patreon. Different tiers can get you a bracelet like the one on the back of my computer, or if you want to support our podcast, we also have a Patreon. Different tiers can get you a sticker like the one on the back of my computer, or you can get a bracelet, which is a handmade crystal beaded jewelry bracelet made by me, Grace. I make jewelry. I'm working on making a website for the jewelry because it's so much fun, and a lot of people want a website, so I'm working on it. Hey, any support helps the podcast out a lot. So if you feel compelled to, please like, subscribe, comment down below what you liked about this episode or if we read your confession, and please share the show with your friends. Remember, you are capable of a fulfilling life in spite of your circumstances and your trauma. May you rise again from the ashes and be filled with peace, hope, love, joy, and understanding. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a peaceful and productive rest of your day. Goodbye.